don't count us out just yet, because we're back. Today, we say GG to the Gatewatch as we review Hour of Devastation. Hello everybody, welcome back to Commanding Magic Season 2. It's Episode 6, Travis and Brandon here today. We're going to be talking about some Hour of Devastation. It's the sets, I mean, let's be honest, like we've been away for a little bit, the set's been out for a little bit, but we're not about to let that stop us from giving it our 2 cents, you know?
Yep.
So, Brandon, you doing good over there? You ready to restart this?
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Awesome.
I'm minus a desk now, so you should see how I have my mic set up, but we're good. We're good. Ready to go.
Very good. We are recording here. Well, I'm recording from my new apartment in Colorado because I moved across the whole freaking country, and it was awesome. The weather here is crazy. The weather here is amazing. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. But the move went well, and I'm really stoked that my office is set up again, and that we can kind of get back to some stuff because I just want to get past this episode, honestly, because we have something really good coming up right after this. Commander 2017 is like T-minus like 1 week pretty much, and here we are with nothing to show for it yet, so be on the lookout for that.
And then after this, we got Ixalan Previews.
I know.
And then somebody gets to go to HASCON.
Yeah, I'm going to HASCON. I'm gonna go see Iconic Masters. I'm going to see what that's all about. I'm going to play in a bunch of events for that, and I guess I get to go meet Mark Rosewater. I've been trying to contact HasCon support about that for like 2 weeks, and I haven't gotten a straight answer to when that is yet.
Oh, really?
Because it doesn't say on the website. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. Let's get into some Magic cards here.
All right.
We have some interesting stuff to go over, but before we really go into the cards themselves, like how do you really feel about Hour of Devastation as a set? As like the cards, not necessarily the lore, because we'll get into that in a minute. Just the cards themselves.
The cards themselves.
Like from what we got from the set, do you think that, let's say two-part question, did it hold up? Does this set deserve to be what comes after Amonkhet? And does this set, is this set, awesome on its own? Like, I don't know, I'd say, for instance, Shadows over Innistrad was a pretty awesome set, altogether, you know what I mean?
If this set came out in a vacuum.
If
this was the first set in the block.
If Eldritch Moon never came out, which it shouldn't have, because that story arc sucked, would this set just be, great on its own?
I think it'd be fine. I don't think it'd be great.
Okay.
It sets up for a lot of things. But the cards themselves are awesome.
Okay, so yeah.
I just love the whole theme of everything happening in this set.
Right. So give us the heavily abridged version of what goes on and how you feel about what happened during the plot of this set.
Okay, so Amonkhet ended with, who was it? Samet and the other guy, Giroux, I think.
Oh yeah, the Planeswalker tutor.
Yep, they were just at the very end of Hazoret's trial, and she was about to stab Giroux in the chest, and then Samet was like, "No," and then the hours started, and all hell broke loose because Hour of Revelation, zombies and stuff.
So in Amonkhet, we're gonna see all the Hour of cards.
Mm-hmm.
So each of those things is an actual event on Amonkhet? Yes. Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. The more you know. That's why I keep you around, to keep me up to date on the lore.
Yes, no problem, Travis. So the doors opened to let in all the Eternals come back in. And then the 3 gods that had been put under Nicol Bolas's control showed up. And now nobody knew what they were here to do, but they just started murdering everybody.
And so they, came back to, or, awakened because of the Hour of Revelation or whatever?
Correct.
Oh, I always just assumed that Nicol Bolas, brought them back or something.
Nope.
All right, well, that's
because they
pretty
woke
rad.
up before he showed back up.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Anyway, we're getting to the good part, so.
Yep. The Scorpion God killed all 4 gods except for Hazoret.
That's crazy.
Hazaret managed to get out, and Nicol Bolas pretty much just didn't give a fuck. He assumed she was dead too.
He's like, yeah,
because
whatever, bro.
Bantu tried to be like, "Oh, Bolas, you're so awesome! I want to be with you. Take me with you," and went to go kill Hazaret, but Hazaret managed to get away. So
Very good.
yeah. And then at the very end of that little arc, Simmet managed to save Hazaret from the Scorpion God, and I think actually killed the Scorpion God. And then her spark activated when Hazaret was like, "You are the greatest champion I've ever seen," blah blah blah. And Simmet was so overcome with emotions and everything, and then sparked.
Interesting. Very interesting. So what happened? What happened with the Gatewatch?
So the Gatewatch got fucked.
Good. All right. We'll just leave it at that.
Yep.
It's all done. We'll probably see it in the cards coming up.
Like,
let's be done with the plot here. Everyone's planes walking away. People are betraying each other. It's all crazy. Nicol Bolas is a bad dude.
I do want to say this.
Okay.
Each walker probably planeswalk to a different plane.
So we're done with the Gatewatch for now. I hope. I'm done with that, dude.
Because Chandra was near death. Jace almost got his mind wiped again. Liliana kind of turned her back on the Gatewatch, which is not really a surprise.
Right.
Nissa just got messed up again, and then Gideon was just about to get his fucking chest pierced through by a dragon claw, but then decided to planeswalk away.
All right. So that's where we are. Nicol Bolas is a bad dude. And we've had enough. We've had enough of the Gatewatch for a while. We're gonna go to Ixalan, and I hope we see none of those planeswalkers there. That's all I'm saying. I want a reboot. I want a fresh start. So speaking of Nicol Bolas and him being a bad dude, what about this guy? I mean, he's first on the list. He's right here, the first card that we're going over because he's just at the top. So tell us about Nicol Bolas, God Pharaoh.
So he's 4 blue, black, and red. He's Planeswalker Bolas. He starts at 7 loyalty.
That's a lot of loyalty.
Yep. He's got 4 abilities. So turns out lately, 4 ability Planeswalkers are pretty good.
Is this the next Jace the Mind Sculptor?
I don't think so. But, I mean, it's too much for... How much was Jace the Mind Sculptor? 4?
Yeah, 4.
So, yeah.
I don't know. Personally, I don't particularly care for super high casting cost planeswalkers anyway. So, but I mean, what's he do? Does he live up to the hype?
So, +2, target opponent exiles cards from the top of his or her library until he or she exiles a non-land card. Until end of turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. So that's pretty good.
That's kind of cool. I mean, I feel like in Commander, like you're gonna bomb or you're just gonna whiff.
Right.
So it's
but still, you're getting rid of something in their deck, though.
Yeah, and that's 2 loyalty. So.
Yeah.
So.
And he's got a +1. Each opponent exiles 2 cards from his or her hand.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not that bad.
For being a plus ability,
Right.
It's usually like a double-edged sword type thing. Like we're.
Yep.
But
you don't have to do it to yourself. It's everybody else.
Yeah.
And his -4, he deals 7 damage to target opponent or creature target opponent controls.
That's, I mean, 7 damage is a lot in like.
It's a way to defend himself.
Yeah, in 60 card. Yeah, that's a hefty price to pay though. -4. Like I get it. It's 7 damage. 7 damage is like nothing to laugh at, but it's -4. So I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how often I could really see myself like doing that.
How often do you see yourself getting to -12?
Yeah.
Exile each non-land permanent your opponent's control. Whew.
So that's just pretty much like GG. Like,
I'm
gonna blow it up and that's it. So, I mean,
and he blows it up.
So Grixis isn't really like a color combination that I delve into hardly ever. So,
no.
Is this something that? I mean, we briefly talked about doing like a Bolas themed deck for you. Is that still something you're interested in?
Yeah, sure.
And so, like, obviously, you'd run this guy, right?
Right, like, and then all the gods and...
But would it be fun? Do you think it would be fun? Would you feel good having this card in your deck?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, speaking of the gods, let's move on to a card that I think is actually really awesome. I'll leave it open for you to talk on it if you like. The Locust God. You want to go over this or...
No, you can have it.
All right. So, a really awesome, legendary, like blue-red creature as far as like being a commander goes, I think. So the Locust God is 4, a blue, and a red for a 4/4. It's a god. It has flying and says whenever you draw a card, create a 1/1 blue and red insect creature token with flying and haste. So flying and haste. I think that's the fact that it has haste is super cool.
Yeah.
And then for 2, a blue and a red, draw a card, then discard a card. Cool. Like we've seen that
Triggers
effect.
himself.
Yeah, he triggers himself. So that's awesome. And then the caveat at the very end, which all 3 of the gods from this set have, is whenever this god dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step.
So you can get around commander tax.
Yeah. So I think that as far as blue-red commanders go, I really like this guy because it kind of allows you to like not only be like the spell-slinging blue-red player, but allows you to make a ton of tokens and go in on the attack. And what I like even more about it is the cards that you can put in the deck with this one as a commander, the cards that you can put in the deck that complement it, like Talrand Sky Summoner, like Young Pyromancer, creatures that have a very similar ability. So you're building up your armies and stuff like that. If nothing, even if you're not attacking, just to defend yourself with, you know?
Right.
But when you're playing blue, you're gonna draw a bunch of cards, right? So I mean, you're bound to like really capitalize off this guy no matter what. Like I know, like with Melik, so with Melik, you have more on the side of I want to just play more spells, do more things with spells and stuff. But on this end, you say I'm gonna be more on the creature side of this, but you know I'm playing the colors that play a bunch of spells, and most of those, or not most, but a lot of those spells are gonna draw me cards too. So
right.
I think this is an all around just a great card.
Yeah, he's okay. I mean, I'm just underwhelmed.
What? So in a perfect world, if you could change like one part of this god, what would it be?
They'd be bigger insects. Because, I mean...
Think 1/1s don't cut it?
No.
Okay.
Because you want to have all the effects to draw you cards. And in blue and red, there's not a whole lot of things to buff your creatures.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
okay, yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
So next up is something that I wasn't expecting, but I have an interesting. I mean, I have an opinion on this guy, and I'm curious what you think. The Scarab God, 3, a blue and a black, 5/5. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life, and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. Awesome. It's in the zombie colors. It can... So, which leads to my question, so I'll get to that in a minute. And so the second ability is for 2, a blue and a black, exile target creature card from a graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. When it dies, you return to your hand. So, my question is to you, does this god live in the zombie deck, or does this god lead the zombie deck?
I think he leads, just because of the return him to your hand from the graveyard, just to get around that commander tax. And he's just reusable.
Yeah, very much. So I guess since you can, with the second ability, since you can exile target creature from a graveyard, and you create a token, do you get ETB triggers off that? If you...
Yeah. Create a token that's a copy of it, so you copy your...
like Reclamation Sage, let's just say.
Yeah.
So your token comes into play.
Blow up an artifact.
Wow. Okay. So
that what it is doing, it's eternalizing a card.
Yeah, and that's some awesome flavor right there. And I think just like it's kind of the icing on the cake, you know. It's like I think it's a really hard choice between this and Gisa and Giroux. You know what I mean?
Right.
So because you get the reanimation aspect of the zombie deck with Gisa and Giroux. But it's not really reanimation, but you're able to capitalize off of anybody's graveyard in a different way.
Yep.
And the scrying is awesome. The life loss is there, sure, but I think the scry is the more pertinent piece of text there.
Yes.
Yeah?
I mean, you're not losing life, so...
Yeah, so who cares? Scorpion God, Brandon.
Scorpion God, 3 black and red for 6/5. whenever a creature with a -1/-1 counter on it dies, draw a card. Okay.
All right.
I mean,
Pretty situational.
yeah, a little bit. And then 1 black/red, put a -1/-1 counter on another target creature. Oh.
Okay,
That
so
makes sense.
he does it for himself. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then the god thing.
You return it from the graveyard to your hand.
Mm-hmm.
He's a beat stick.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just super torn on this guy because, first of all, I think that black-red is one of the hardest commander decks to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you would like lead with this guy. And I think it's really weird that that the legendary creature that we got from the last set, the Vizier of Poisons or whatever, who also did -1/-1 counters, like you'd think that the Scorpion God would be like black-green. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like being able to create that kind of synergy between the two sets, I feel like it's a missed opportunity, but I guess at the same time they were looking to
I think they went in more of a flavor route with the indestructible gods, since -1/-1 counters get around indestructible.
Yeah. Also, if you look, all three of the gods make up the Grixis colors. Like all
which is
Bolas, right?
Which was the point.
So there you go. I mean, I get it from a design perspective. I guess, but from a flavor perspective, I'm like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to wonder what these three gods were before Bolas corrupted them. So, yeah.
Yeah. Our other planeswalker is Samut the Tested. So a 4-mana green-red planeswalker. I mean, I'm always excited about green-red planeswalkers, I guess.
Too bad it's not Naya.
Yeah, if it were Naya colors, I would be super stoked. We haven't had one yet. We surely will get one in like the Ixalan block, right?
Maybe.
Because that's like dinosaurs are like all about that. Right?
A dinosaur walker.
Well, that's not what I'm saying, but I just mean like that would be super cool to see. Because we had like Tameo for Bant, we had Nicobolas, we had Sarkin for Teamer. I think that's about it so far. Yeah. But anyway, I digress. So 2, a red and a green, comes in with 4 loyalty. All right. +1, up to 1 target creature gains double strike till end of turn. Cool. Like that's what red-green, like it's a powerful effect in red-green. Cool. -2, Samut the Tested deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 target creatures and or players. So being able to just kind of like shock your opponent, shock a creature, divide the damage up to kill some tokens or some mana dorks or whatever. The utility's there.
Protect yourself.
And then, a little bit. And then the -7, search your library for up to 2 creatures and or planeswalkers and put them onto the battlefield and then shuffle your library. I feel like a like tooth and nail type effect that can also grab planeswalkers is super powerful.
But good luck getting there.
Yeah, take note. -7 comes in with 4 and only 1 plus ability, and that plus ability is only +1. So,
yep, take you a few turns to get there.
It's a good planeswalker, I think, but not like I don't. So the original form of Samut from
Amonkhet.
Yeah, from Amonkhet is Naya colors. So I'm just kind of a little bit confused as to why
I don't know.
Dropped the other color.
I really don't.
I mean,
what I can tell you though is the community's hatred of the Gatewatch. This was probably going to be another member of the Gatewatch instead.
You think so?
So yeah, Mark Rosewater said so.
Oh, did he?
And said everybody was starting to hate the Gatewatch and
good, yeah, because
they changed how the sets were going to go forward. Yep. And they didn't want to see the Gatewatch so much. They wanted to see new planeswalkers. So that's why we got Simut.
Yeah, I think that the Gatewatch was a good way to keep the story consistent and to keep people's attentions to be like, what's the next adventure going to be? You know, what's going to lead to the next adventure? But I think it's just gone a little bit too far at this point.
Yep.
Speaking of going too far or arguably not far enough, tell us about this this horse that we have here.
Every now and then, Wizards like to print tribal support.
For
that they
tribes
can.
that arguably don't exist.
That doesn't matter.
It's not even a legendary horse.
Doesn't matter, Travis, the horse lord.
Do we have a legendary
Okay.
horse in the game so far?
Probably not.
Well,
Anyway,
all right.
3 white for horse. Other horses you control have indestructible.
All right.
Woo!
All right.
So my whatever horse that buffs humans when it's a horse from
Oh,
um
the
Pegasus,
yeah.
Yeah,
I know the
you
one
know
you're
what
talking
I'm
about.
about. It's indestructible now. Awesome. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain life this turn, create a 5/5 white horse creature token. Sure, why not? I mean, whatever.
It's like, it's like a weird self-contained thing.
Right.
Like, I guess it doesn't have its own life gain, but if you're in white, like, you have plenty of options there. So it's like the fact that it gives other horses indestructible can just be referring to the tokens that you create from itself.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe this card is actually pretty good.
I mean, I think in a nutshell, just by itself, it's pretty okay.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine maybe like a bomb in limited. Maybe even in draft. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Why don't you tell us about Unesh, Kraus, Sphinx Sovereign?
You want me to talk about a blue card? What the hell?
I don't like it.
All right, so Unesh, Sphinx Sovereign is 4 and 2 blue for a 4/4 with flying. It's a legendary Sphinx, so there you go, legendary Sphinx. Sphinx spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Cool. Do we have enough Sphinxes for the Sphinx tribal deck? Who knows?
For the mono blue Sphinx tribal deck, probably.
Let's check real quick. We have 42. What?
Are they mono blue?
Or
are you
for the most part
Esper?
It's yeah, there's a lot of Esper with a wow, there's way more than I thought. But yeah, if you take out all the Esper ones, I don't know, if you take out all the Esper ones and even like Arjun the Shifting Flame who's like blue red, I think you like might have enough to like make a bad Sphinx deck. Like I don't know.
New bad tribal coming.
It's got to be you. You're the blue player here.
And
so you got to do it, man.
I'm the one who made bad elementals.
Take one for the team.
I already did.
All right.
Taking plenty for the team.
All right. Anyway, this guy has another ability.
I wish we had.
You wish you had what?
No, you can go ahead. I'll explain it in a minute.
All right. So whenever Unesh, Sphinx Sovereign, or another Sphinx enters the battlefield under your control, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. An opponent separates his cards into 2 piles, put one pile into your hand, the other into your graveyard. It's like
a little fact or fiction.
Yeah. So cool. Like, I mean, it itself is like, if you're running Sphinxes, then this like might be your guy. Who knows? Maybe there is like a breakout, like fun Sphinx deck to be played.
I think he's better in the 99 than leading it though.
Really? I mean, with that, with the cost reduction, that seems really good. Like 2 mana is nothing to joke about. So who would be the commander of the Sphinx deck? Would it be Alhamrit? Or
I was thinking one of the Esper ones.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. So you have, well, that's not legendary. There's Asperia, but that's just blue white. So I guess you could go that route. Magistrate Sphinx. Magistrate Sphinx. I think I would just use Asperia. Asperia is a great card anyway. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, you may draw a card. I dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, moving on from mono blue Sphinx tribal, we're moving on to mono black Tutor tribal.
Yeah.
Starring Brandon as.
I wish Colin was here to talk about it, but.
Rip Colin.
Yep.
So tell us about Razaketh and how freaking broken he is in Commander.
5 black for a demon. 8/8. Flying and trample. Pay 2 life. Sacrifice another creature. Search your library for a card and put that card into your hand and shuffle your library.
I mean, that's just like Tutor as many times as you want. Tutor for your exact combo. I don't know. Like,
I mean, in black, it's not hard to have zombies and just sacrifice the zombies. And
does this card like
get your combo pieces?
Does this have potential to get like banned in Commander?
Maybe.
Because
We'll see
I
where
have
it
an
goes.
argument for why I think that it might be like a contender to be banned.
Yeah.
Because cards like, okay, so Primeval Titan I can understand, but cards like Sylvan Primordial, which like, I mean, either of the two, I don't know, like something about like this card can just win after you play him. Like Primeval Titan and Sylvan Primordial get you some lands, but you have to do stuff afterwards. I guess you could argue that you have to do stuff afterwards with this too, but you're not going to get like an infinite combo just by fetching lands. I don't know. Am I wrong? Like,
No.
I don't get it. Makes me mad. Hashtag Primeval Titan Gate, and I don't know. I don't know. I keep Primeval Titan banned. Give me Sylvan Primordial back.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Or I don't even know. Neheb the Eternal.
Yeah.
Let me talk about some. Man, boy, that art is just
I dig Neheb
awesome.
so much.
It's so good. Well, the art on the original Neheb was good too, but this is just super. I bet this looks amazing foil. I haven't seen one.
Oh.
So 3 and 2 red for a 4/6. He's a zombie Minotaur wizard. Or zombie Minotaur warrior, sorry. Not a wizard.
Oh my god, perfect wizard tribal. There you go.
Right, no, warrior. So he has Afflict 3. So whenever this creature becomes blocked, defending player loses 3 life. I dig that.
Can I just say, this is the first time seeing this mechanic in this review. I love this ability so much.
Yeah, it punishes your opponent for blocking in a different way than something like Death Touch would.
Yep.
You know, it's a more like direct punishment. So, second ability is at the beginning of your post-combat main phase, add 1 red to your mana pool for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. Remember, combat damage causes loss of life. So, I mean, there's just so much potential here. I mean, any of the cards that cards like what is it, like Flame Rift or something, right?
I have no idea.
Flame Rift.
This is what Glory looks like.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
indeed.
Flame Rift, 2 mana. Flame Rift deals 4 damage to each player. It's a 2 mana spell. So you like, boom, Flame Rift, whatever, like attack or whatever. Let's say they don't block and they take 4 damage, or they do block and they take 3. You're going to be either adding 8 mana or 7 mana to your mana pool. Just, I mean, it's like it really opens up your second main phase in a way that I don't think a lot of cards do.
You could even just, go the more direct route and just bolt, and then, all the other direct damage red spells. I mean, hell, throw a Lava Axe in there if you're getting risky.
And then run cards that give you extra combat phases.
Right?
And
so,
you're going off.
Yep. Yeah, that's not hard to do in red.
Right? So this card's awesome. It's gonna go into Lavisa. I think it's just too good not to. It's a warrior. It's hard to find good warriors anyway.
Yep.
For mono red, especially. And now we're going to play a game called Make Brandon Talk About a Green Card.
I actually kind of like this card.
I do too, but I would love for you to give your thoughts on it.
I just wish it was like Odric, just a green version of Odric. Marshall.
Yeah.
Because that's what I thought it was at first, and then I realized it wasn't. Got really sad. So anyway, 4 green for a star. Majestic Myriarch's power and toughness are each equal to twice the number of creatures you control. So it starts off as a 2/2, right? That's how that works?
Yep, it counts itself, so
if it's the only thing out, it's a 2/2.
Yeah, 5 mana for a 2/2 seems good.
Yeah, good luck. At the beginning of each combat, if you control a creature with flying, Majestic Myriarch gains flying until end of turn. The same is true for Fresh Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance.
All the things.
All the things.
So
yeah, I like it.
It's weird because it doesn't even really necessarily synergize with Odric Lunarch Marshall.
Nope.
Because Myriarch takes all the abilities from everything, and then Odric distributes it to everything.
Himself. Yes.
So Odric distributes all the abilities. So even if they're both out at the same time, neither one of them really complements the other.
Nope.
Because no matter what, they're each going to act independently without really influencing the other. So
I just wish it had its own keyword to at least give it something.
oh, like that
You know?
ability had its own keyword.
No, like say it had,
Oh, like it
I
had
don't
flying or
know,
something.
first strike.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. I get it. I think this card has potential in something. I don't know quite
Yeah,
what yet, just something. So, um, getting ready to move on here.
I'm gonna start moving on a bit here.
We have the last, the cycle of lasts, except for
Hmm.
Hazoret. So, these I feel like, with an exception that I have like a little bit of an anecdote for, that these will go by fairly quickly. So we'll start off with Oketra's Last Mercy. So for 1 white, a sorcery, your life total becomes equal to your starting life total. Lands you control do not untap during your next untap step. In a pinch, I suppose it's cool,
Yeah,
right? Especially in Commander with like 40 life. That's not,
let's look at it like this: competitive commander, competitive commander. Most games end real early, right?
yeah, sure.
If you're not getting comboed out like real crazy hard, reset your life total on turn 3. No big deal.
Okay.
So,
So, let's see. 3 of these are viable in tiny leaders. Do you think
yeah.
that the 3 that are, including this one, well, let's just specifically talk about this one first. Do you think this one is viable in tiny leaders? Maybe like
Yes.
that the damage output from what happens in tiny leaders is minimal enough to where you can last mercy and just like be fine and like net positive by the end of your next turn.
Hmm.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't say that all of your land. It does say all of your lands, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you have to tap all of your land.
It also doesn't mean that your lands cannot be untapped by other effects.
Exactly.
So there's some little, maybe there's some tricks there.
I definitely think Bontu's Last Reckoning will see play
So
because
all right,
that's a great card.
yeah. So let's just talk about Bantu's Last Reckoning real quick then. Have at it.
Destroy all creatures, and then it's the land you don't control. Don't
The
untap during your
3
next
mana
untap
wrath.
step.
It's the wrath
Mm-hmm.
that Tiny Leaders has been asking for, except for like maybe Toxic Deluge because that card's really good. But yeah, that's pretty sweet for 3 mana.
Mm-hmm.
Can't beat it. Like destroy all creatures, and you're even more likely to live because what's going to attack you?
Exactly.
Yeah, so
So
that's a good point.
yeah,
Good point. Kevnet's last word. 2 blue for a sorcery. Gain control of target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Lands you control don't untap during your next untap step. How's this card?
mind control something for 4. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like, so you have like your control magic, which is like specifically a creature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
so this like opens it up a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, grab an enchantment that you need to deal with, or you know,
Yeah.
take one of their combo artifacts away from them.
Take their mana reflection away.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Tell us about Hazoret's
Hazoret's?
Undying Fury.
Oh man. So for red, shuffle your library. So
Okay.
this is the first thing you have to do is shuffle your library, okay?
Very good.
Then exile the top 4 cards. You may cast any number of non-land cards with converted mana cost 5 or less from among them without paying their mana cost.
Huh.
Lands you control don't untap during your next untap step. I really don't know.
How,
Like-
off of 4 cards, how many of those are going to whiff?
A lot.
I want to
In
say
Commander.
on average you'll get 2 hits.
Yeah.
If that. If you build your deck like to kind of capitalize off of stuff that's CMC 5 or less that's worth casting off of this.
Now I could see myself playing this in something like Tajik, but then I'm never getting to my 6 mana spells
Huh.
most of the time and if I am, something's wrong because I'm not killing stuff fast enough. So yeah. But yeah, and something that's built around like allies, where all your creatures are going to be less than 5 CMC, that 4 free dudes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
You can build decks that this will work with.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah, for
a
sure.
high cost to pay for it.
Yeah, for something that's like pretty big gamble.
Yeah, and then at 6 mana, you're probably playing this on turn 6. So
Yeah, pretty much. So
yeah.
there you go. Come on. Ronus's Last Stand is awesome. I love this card. I think this card is. I think this card is awesome in tiny leaders. Because on turn 2, make a 5/4, and who cares if you don't play anything on turn 3? You have a 5/4.
Exactly.
Like, I guess the argument is like, oh, it dies to like Doomblade type stuff, but whatever, dude. It's a 5/4. Like, if it sticks, it's gonna be something to be dealt with, and if it doesn't stick, then you only paid 2 mana for it, and your opponent had to waste their next turn killing it.
Yep.
So, and it goes in the snake deck. I'll always take snake deck support. So, so that's my opinion on that.
All right.
The hours. There's 5 hours.
So should we do this in order?
Do you know the order?
I do.
Okay.
It's actually on the bottom of the cards. Did you know that? So, right next to the foil stamp on Hour of Revelation, it's 1 of 5.
Oh, because they have the story stamps.
Right. And then Hour of Glory is number 2.
Wait, so which one's the first one?
Hour of Revelation.
Oh, okay. So yeah, let's do that one. Tell us about Hour of Revelation.
Hour of Revelation, 3 white for sorcery. If Hour of Revelation casts 3 less to cast. Okay, let me start this over. Hour of Revelation costs 3 less to cast if there are 10 or more non-land permanents on the battlefield. Destroy all non-land permanents. That's a white, Blasphemous Act.
Blasphemous Act does a bunch of damage. This destroys all non-land permanents.
Yeah.
That is like this is the type of board wipe that I hate in Commander. Like, and I'm not saying I hate because I hate all my creatures died and all my artifacts died or whatever. It's like, you have just set this game back like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't like cards like this. As
I
a card
can't say
itself,
we've never done that before.
I like this as a card. I think the artwork is awesome. Just, it's not the card that I want to see at the Commander table, you know?
Yep.
Hour of Glory is second, you said?
Yep.
All right. Hour of Glory is 1 in a black for an instant. Exile target creature. If that creature was
1 in a black.
Or 3 in a black, sorry. For an instant.
Damn.
Exile target creature. If that creature was a god, its controller reveals their hand and exiles all cards with the same name. So this is our... Boy, this has some weird artwork.
Right?
That's just weird.
Yep. And then Ronus's monuments in the background.
Oh, that is cool. Bro. Yeah. But... it doesn't. I don't think this really does in Commander, just because of the singleton caveat. So.
It's something they had to print.
Yep.
For standard.
Sure. Which one's next?
Hour of Promise.
Okay, what's Hour of Promise?
Hour of Promise. 4 and a green for sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 land cards. Put them onto the battlefield. Tap, then shuffle your library. Then, if you control 3 or more deserts, create 2/2 black zombie creature token.
This card is dumb. I don't know. I'm not into it.
No,
because I don't want to run a desert just to do this.
To get the trigger.
But 2 land cards, I guess that's good because you're not you don't have to get basics or anything.
2 anything. You can grab your command tower.
Get your Temple of the False God and your Ancient Tomb.
Exactly.
And that's 4 colorless mana right there. But so who knows? Maybe that's good, but just not my cup of tea, I don't think.
Yeah, run it for just being able to get your lands out and your good lands.
Yeah.
You can get your original duels out with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fancy. Hour of Eternity.
All right. So X blue for a sorcery. Exile X target creature cards from your graveyard. For each card exiled this way, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. Eternalize all the things.
So
for super high cost.
For 5, you get 1 4/4.
Exactly.
For 7, you get 2 4/4s. For 9, you get 3 4/4s. That mana to value ratio doesn't add up to me.
Nope, not at all.
That's not 4. It's they're 4/4s. Yeah, but that, I don't know. Even just I think most of the time you would probably be casting this to get 2 zombies. So you're paying 7 mana for 2 4/4s. I don't get it. I mean,
Unless you're running stuff to like accelerate your mana and get the value off of it.
you're also potentially locking your opponent out of reanimation targets, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's
And
from your
then
graveyard, so it's not even like on par with the Scarab God itself.
right.
It's
What you want to do if you want to get your best value out of this is run cards that will reduce costs.
yeah, I guess you're right.
Reduce that X into negative so that you don't have to pay as much for it.
Yeah, okay. I guess that makes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's viable.
No, I really don't either, but it's what it is.
Hour of
Great.
Devastation is
Go for it.
okay. I was kind of waiting to see if you'd pick it up. 3 and 2 red for a sorcery. All creatures lose indestructible until end of turn. Hour of Devastation deals 5 damage to each creature and each non-bolus planeswalker. So this goes in the bolus deck.
Yep,
I also think
for
the
sure.
all creatures lose indestructible is really cool. I'm not sure if that's something we've seen before. Like, I don't know.
I don't think so
I
either.
think that effect is pretty cool for 5 mana. I don't know.
Pretty neat though.
I think it's pretty
I like the card.
pretty solid,
It's
yeah. And the art
good
is
board wipe.
sweet.
Yep.
Next up,
So-
we have the defeat. The defeats.
Defeat.
So I can
Sorry.
go through these real quick and just kind of show off the artwork here real quick, but
Yeah.
they're all on your. They're kind of like your like red elemental blast. Your what is that? Death mark or something? Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
your like removal that is subject to being restricted to a certain color.
Yep.
Oh, and it also said if you are destroying the planeswalker that corresponds with that color, you get an additional benefit. So they're very much sideboard cards. I don't think they're viable pretty much anywhere other than that. Limited, like draft, maybe, I don't know.
Chandra's defeat. I mean, 1 red for 5 damage to a creature or a red walker. I think that's okay.
Well, it has to be
But
red creature.
Exactly.
Like, it's
So-
like on one hand, it's like, oh, this is almost better than Flame Slash. But no, Flame Slash, even though Flame Slash is sorcery, it deals 4 damage to a freaking creature, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't care what the color is, so. I don't know.
Yep.
Overwhelming Splendor is an interesting card. For 8 mana, you have a curse. Enchant player, creatures enchanted player lose all abilities and have base power and toughness of 1/1. So it's humility, I think. Yep. Except you're just for double the mana, you are throwing it on your opponent and it affects only them. But not only that, enchanted player can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities.
Yeah.
It's like
it's a good card.
it's like a weird blowout card. Like you cast it on your opponent, and all of a sudden they are just like crippled
Right.
until they can get rid of this, I guess.
Or until you cast it on the player who's not playing creature spells.
Yeah, but again, not something that we really see that much.
Yep.
In our play group. Champion of Wits is an interesting card, I think.
I dig it.
I think this card is pretty cool. How about you go over it since you dig it?
Alright, so Champion of Wits, 2 and a blue for a Naga Wizard. When Champion of Wits enters the battlefield, you draw cards equal to its power. If you do, discard 2 cards. So ETBs, you draw 2 and discard 2.
Yeah, cool. You can
No big
internalize it. Cool. But this actually kind of brings up one of my gripes with the Amonkhet block in general. They
Yes.
shouldn't have made it Naga, dude. Just have it snakes. Like, okay, so maybe it's more on flavor if they have it as Naga. With the...
I mean, you could say the same thing about dragons, Tarkir, with having Naga in that set as well.
Yeah, I mean, and I suppose my opinion kind of extends there too, because it's like, I mean, we have to consider that they're not always printing things with Commander in mind. So, you know, I just think what we kind of have to accept looking at Naga creatures, or who knows, maybe they're building up to a really awesome Naga legendary.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you're not the only one with that gripe, though. Like, I've seen plenty of comments about people talking about why can't this also be Snake
Yeah.
or get buffs from snakes.
Yeah.
So, but hey, it's what it is.
Next up, we have a demon. Apocalypse Demon, which I'm surprised we haven't seen that name on a card yet. So for 6, you have a Star with flying. Power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your graveyard. That's cool. If you're doing that strat, I guess. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you have to tap the sky unless you sack a creature. So that is the demon that's like that has that type of ability. You know? Like all throughout Magic's history, we have had demons that have had that type of thing where you have to give up something to keep it around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
That's all I really have to say about that. How about, is Imminent Doom good? What is this card?
It's a thing.
Looks cool.
It does.
What's it do?
So 2 in a red for an enchantment. Eminent Doom enters the battlefield with a Doom counter on it. Doom! Whenever you cast a spell with converted mana cost equal to the number of Doom counters on Eminent Doom, Eminent Doom deals that much damage to target creature or player, then put a Doom counter on Eminent Doom.
Doug, Imminent Doom, owner of the Imminent Doom.
Yes. Tiny Leader's playable.
So let me read this again real quick, because I was thinking about Fairly Odd Parents puns when you were reading this. So when you cast,
I was trying to count the amount of dooms on this card.
Doug Dimmadoom. When you cast a spell with converted mana cost equal to the number of Doom counters on it, it does that much damage to target player. Then put a Doom. Oh, so it's like you have to do 1, then 2, then 3, then 4.
Yep.
Okay, I see. Well, in Tiny Leaders, once you get past 3, it does nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still.
Sure. Who knows? Resilient Qurna. # not a Minotaur. Like, I get the whole Jackal thing, but come on.
Yeah.
2 for 2/2. When it comes in, target creature gets +X, where X is Resilient Qurna's power eternalize. There's some value to be had here in Tiny Leaders, I think.
Yeah.
Just because it's 2 for 2/2 that buffs something when it comes in. Maybe.
I like its Eternalized token.
Oh, does it look tight?
Looks pretty good. Yep.
Is it like down here somewhere?
I don't think so.
Oh, bummer. All right. Giroux.
With eyes wide open.
What's this guy do?
So he's a legendary dude. He's a human warrior. He's got vigilance. He's a 4/3. So for 5/4/3 vigilance, it's okay.
Sure.
It's kind of weird having a smaller toughness with vigilance, but it's whatever.
Right.
So when Giroux with eyes open enters the battlefield, it's such a weird name. You may search your library for a Planeswalker card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. If a sorcerer would deal damage to a Planeswalker you control, prevent 1 of that damage.
Yeah, so this card's powerful.
Yeah.
Like, he really is. It's like power from an unexpected place, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But this card's pretty awesome in the Planeswalker deck. Even if you're just playing a white and you have other Planeswalkers in your deck, this card's still good.
Yeah.
Because he helps protect your Planeswalkers and he fetches them. And he's a 4/3. So there you go. Nimble Obstructionist is first and foremost a bird.
Yes.
3 for a 3/1 with flash and flying. That's an awesome combination, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You can cycle this guy for 3 mana.
And how often are you, actually casting this guy, though?
Let's see. When you cycle, counter, active. I don't know. In the bird deck, I'd probably cast him fairly often. And I say that because there's not a lot of good birds. So, got to take it where I can get it.
Yeah, I guess.
But when you cycle this guy, counter target activated or triggered ability you do not control. So, it's like good if you play him, but if it's also good if you cycle him. So, what's this Eternal guy?
Amit Eternal. 2 in a black for a zombie crocodile demon.
Looks cool.
Is a 5/5, so 3 for a 5/5. That's not bad. What's my drawback here?
Here's a flicked.
Flick 3.
Jeez.
Okay. Still upside.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a -1/-1 counter on it. Okay.
Throw it away.
Yep, it's terrible.
Throw it in the garbage.
Whenever an eternal deals combat damage to a player, remove all -1/-1 counters from it. What the hell?
Okay, so this card.
It's doing a lot of things.
It is, but so damage causes loss of life, but it's not the other way around.
Right.
You know, so it's like like with the afflict thing, even if you get the afflict trigger, he doesn't. He gets. Well, no, he doesn't get the counter, but he doesn't get all the counters removed.
Yep.
It's weird. It's a weird card. I feel like cards that like Quill Spike or whatever. Quill Spike. That eat -1/-1 counters. Pairs up really good with this. Who knows? Maybe this is a Tiny Leader's like some synergy here. Amit Eternal and Quill Spike both cost 3. This guy is a 5/5, which is a good body in Tiny Leaders with Afflict against a 25 life total. Is pretty legit. And then, unless your opponent can cast 5 spells in a turn, you can just turn right around the next turn. Use your mana to remove all the -1/-1 counters from him. For each one of those, Quill Spike gets +3/+3, and then you have a 5/5. And then you can have stuff like, cheap stuff like Rancor and stuff like that to give them trample and stuff.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe that seems pretty cool, actually, now that I think about it.
Maybe in Tiny Leaders it'll work.
Yeah, but nowhere else.
So, how about Chaos Maw?
Chaos Maw is a Hellion, which we see every now and then. But this is probably one of the coolest ones that we've seen.
Where in the Hellion did this come from on Omnicat, though? Like, seriously.
Yeah, I don't know. It's some sort. The flavor text leads me to believe that it's like some sort of. So the food chain doesn't end at sandworms.
Yeah.
So these are just
bigger sandworms.
Yeah. 7 for a 6/6 when it comes in, deals 3 damage to each of the creature. I got nothing except for the fact that art is sweet.
All right, fine. Tell us about Uncage the Menagerie, then.
I will. It's X and 2 green for a sorcery to search your library for up to X creature cards with different names that each have converted mana cost X. Reveal them and put them into your hand, and then shuffle your library.
Okay.
So let me think about this for a minute. And so you put them in your hand, so it fills your hand up, so that's sweet. So let's say, for instance, for X with different names.
So if
you pay 3, you can search for 3 creatures with CMC 3. So for 5 mana, you get 3 CMC creatures.
Yep.
Huh. That is pretty cool. It's like the way that it's worded is just enough to make it not as broken, I think.
Yes.
I think.
Because if it was X or less,
yeah, for sure. But I mean, I'm sure there's a way to abuse this, but I'm not. It's like nothing's coming to me off the top of my head,
Yeah. Fact is, the higher up mana that you spend for this card, it's the less powerful it's going to become.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because it's like, if you pay like 7 or whatever, so you've paid 9 for this, you get 7 CMC cards. Like, how many of those are you really going to have? I guess the flip side to that coin is the 7s that you do have are going to be pretty impactful.
Yep.
So
you see, like, I'd have to sit and go through my Surrak deck, but hell, I'm sure that could see play in there, because I have plenty of high cost creatures in there.
Yeah, so it's like, but at that point, it just almost seems like it becomes like kind of like a bad tooth and nail, because you get the creatures, but they just go into your hand when you've invested all that mana into them. So maybe this is like tooth and nail on the cheap or something. Yeah,
I mean, play your Mirari's away, play your Zendikar Resurgence and all that.
I will.
Double your mana. Yeah, go for it.
Sure. We're about to get to the point here where I think we're just going to start picking and choosing. So Brandon, you let me know when you see something you want to go over, but I'm going to kick off this latter half of the show here with Pride Sovereign, because he's badass.
Super relevant.
3 for a 2/2. He gets +1/+1 for each other cat you control. You know what this reminds me of?
Cat Tribal. The fact that I gave you a foil copy
You
for
did.
free.
You did.
Because you're
For
a buddy.
free. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me of Pride of the Clouds, Brandon.
Oh, yes.
Pride of the Clouds is blue-white, gets +1/+1 for each other creature in play with flying, but it's also a cat.
A cat.
Ah, there it is. I don't know. I just thought that was really cool. But anyway, so aside from that first ability, for 1, tap, exert this guy, create 2 1/1 white cats. So once you do that, he becomes at least a 4/4.
And those cats have lifelink.
And they have lifelink. That's amazing. So then you have your stupid horse guy out, and then you've gained life. So you put a horse in play.
Oh man,
you got horses and cats galore.
Yep. What is going on?
So, sorry. So Cat Tribal's happening. It's coming. Commander 2017. I'm not going to really go into that just now. That's for next week's episode. But it's coming, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
So anything on this next row here we should go over for flavor or coolness or otherwise?
Earthshaker Kenra is pretty neat.
All right. Tell us all about Earthshaker Kenra.
So Earthshaker Kenra has haste, and it's a 2/1 for 1 and a red. When it enters the battlefield, target creature with power less than or equal to Earthshaker's power can't block this turn. So
is this like tiny
big stompy guy or just big dude just can't block.
Well, power less than or equal to, right? That's what it says. So it would be 2 power or less.
Still.
So, but it gets better when you eternalize him. I think this. I think this is tiny leaders.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe, Luke, just get all the jackals and make a tiny leaders deck with jackals. Who knows? All the jackals seem to be relatively low cost anyway.
Yeah. But still, it's a good card. I like it.
Yeah. Torment of Hailfire. So, with this card, I always want to call it Torrent of Hailfire, but it's Torment. And I don't quite get that. But that aside, the artwork is awesome. You got the black and the purple with the white in the background. It looks really awesome. For X and 2 black for sorcery, you repeat the following process X times. Each opponent loses 3 life, unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card. So, for 4 mana, you do that twice.
Yep.
For 5 mana, you do it 3 times? I feel like this is really good.
Yeah. And it's pretty good.
And it goes in the Bolas deck.
Yep.
I can't wait to have that spell played on me for like X equals 5.
Yep.
In 9 cases out of 10, I guarantee you I would probably just say, okay, I guess I lose 15 life. But, I don't know.
Nothing else on that row is all that great.
I guess there's something to be said about Solemnity. 3 for an enchantment. Players can't get counters. Counters can't be put on artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or lands. So screw your Proliferate. Screw your Atraxa.
Yep.
Screw your Darksteel Forge combo. Or not Darksteel Forge. Darksteel.
What about your Commander 2015 or 2016 dudes that gave you the level counters or whatever?
Oh, yeah. Screw those guys, too. Screw your Darksteel Reactor combo. We're not going to have you winning that way. What was that card that like made Darksteel Reactor combo like super broken? Was it like?
I don't even know.
Was it Combust? No, it wasn't Combust. There was a card that you could like combo hard with Darksteel Reactor. Like it's like destroy target artifact and then like put a charge counter on target artifact for each charge counter that artifact had or something. But since Darksteel Reactor is indestructible, you just double the counters on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what Darksteel Reactor does? Yeah. Seems good. I don't know, dude. Whatever. I'm just talking. What about Swarm Intelligence?
Swarm Intelligence, 6 and a blue for an enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. So I want to like this card so much. I really do.
But
7 mana. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's a lot of mana. It's like Big, like enchantments that you really have to invest a ton of mana into, I have a super hard time with because like unless like
Yeah,
I can get some like immediate value off of it, it's like you run the risk so many times of it like being just like reclamation sage the next turn.
right. It won't last until your next turn. That thing's
So
gonna go.
so your 7 mana has been countered by your opponent's 3 mana
Mm-hmm.
plus whatever else they play that next turn.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's like I want to play this card. I want to combo so hard with this and other copy spells, but I can't. I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah. Is Wildfire Eternal interesting?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is awesome.
So it's a 3 and a red
Man,
for
he
one
looks awesome
four.
too.
As he does. Super buff zombie dude.
Yeah.
And zombie jackal
Ooh,
cleric.
he has a promo too.
Yeah. He's got a flick 4, so no matter what, he's gonna do something,
Yeah.
or he's gonna do 4 damage.
Yeah, man. The way this card is set up with his power and toughness and the afflict is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, do you want to take 1 damage and then possibly have
Or
something even worse?
mm-hmm. Or do you want to just take 4?
Yeah. Wow. That's a good card.
So whenever Wildfire Eternal attacks and isn't blocked, you may cast an instant or sorcery from your hand without paying its mana cost. Oh man.
Yeah. But can I just say that the normal pack art looks way cooler than the promo art?
It does. It
Yeah.
really does. I picked up mine just because
Yeah.
when I bought my box.
Oh, that was the buy box?
Yep.
Gotcha. Ramonep Hydra, I want to talk about real quick just because it's a snake. For 4, you have a 3/3. It has Vigilance, Reach, and Trample, which is cool. +1/+1 as long as you control a desert. +1/+1 as long as there's a desert in your graveyard. Like, I don't know. It's a snake, but once you get into this CMC, a lot of the snakes just aren't great anyway. So
Then why don't you tell us about Ramonab Excavator?
it's a card that I don't understand how it got printed. 3 mana
No?
for a 2/3. You may play land cards from your graveyard. It's my Crucible of Worlds with legs.
Mm-hmm.
This?
Well, I mean, in this case, it's with a tail, but
Yeah, whatever. But okay. So this card I feel like gave like a huge power boost to the Gitrog monster deck
yeah,
because normally you have it's like Crucible of Worlds was like your expensive artifact. When I say expensive, I mean like monetary.
yep,
Like that you would use to get your lands back from your graveyard after you sack them. But now you have this guy, so it's like just I feel like even just by adding that 1 extra card, you're like increasing your efficiency of the deck so much. Just because it's like this is like such hard synergy with that deck, you know?
yeah. So does Adorn Pouncer see play in the cat deck?
I think so. I think it does be well, okay, so first of all, it has double strike, and the way that I'm going to be building the cat deck is with equips. So having
Right.
double strike already is awesome. However, maybe it gets even better after you eternalize it. It comes back as a 4/4. So
4/4 will double strike. Seems pretty good.
And it has a
I mean,
promo.
for 5 still.
yeah, I mean,
I mean, the promo looks weird, but
it is an interesting promo. Like like exact opposite of the normal one.
yep.
You know, like black cat, white cat. And now we just kind of scroll for a while until we find something interesting. So, like, I guess like what there is to be said about this is that since we have like the whole like Egyptian type theme, we have a lot of like influence in the art for stuff like this, and it just like a lot of really cool artwork came from this. Like Merciless Eternal, like looks just awesome. Like it's not great. Like Afflict 2, like an ability like where you can discard a card to give it +2/+2. Like it's just whatever.
I'm still scrolling.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something that I'm looking for. Strategic Planning's got funny new artwork.
Ominous Sphinx has some really awesome artwork, and it's a Sphinx, so there you go. And it goes when you cycle or discard a card, so for your cycling deck.
Supreme Will's a pretty good card.
We have Overcome, which is kind of like a nerfed, a little bit overrun.
Overrun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like the spell that's like this that you would want to run in like your like Abzan deck, just because of like the nature of like the Abzan tribe and how they are. Like this card, like the art looks like it would be a bunch of like Abzan like warriors
Oh
charging
yeah.
in, you know.
If you want to make something that like looks on flavor.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, let's talk about Supreme Will for a minute.
Supreme Will, sure. Ooh, that looks pretty sweet. What's Supreme Will?
So 2 and a blue for an instant. Choose one.
Ooh, I like
Counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. Okay.
Okay.
Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom in any order.
Huh.
Woo.
That's pretty good. That's
For 3 mana.
that's tiny leader. That's tiny leader's playable.
Yes.
I think there's some combo potential with Hope Tender. 2 for 2/2 that you can tap one and untap target land if you're running stuff like Nykthos.
Yes.
And there was a couple
Or
other
Gaia's Cradle.
Yeah, sure. There was so like if you have those 2 cards out and then you exert, boom, you have access to your wildest imagination's worth of mana. Oh yeah, strategic planning does have funny artwork. What was the other artwork like?
I don't know. I had no idea that this was a reprint until recently.
Strategic. I just typed planning. Strategic planning. It was in Hour of Devastation Commander 2013, Portal 3 Kingdoms. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen. I know this card. Anyway,
I'll tell you what, though, Bitterbow Sharpshooters. I dig that. Just everything about it. 5 for 4/4 Vigilance Reach.
freaking some buff jackals.
Yep.
ready to throw down. We're getting down to it, my dude.
Yep.
I
like
guess
even.
Beneath the Sands is kind of cool. Searches for a basic for 3, but you can also cycle it.
Mm-hmm.
So in the early game, it's useful for the search, and in the late game, it's useful for the cycling.
Yeah.
What card did you say?
Dauntless Haven, it's 2 rows down. White.
Dauntless Haven. 3 for a 2/1. Whenever it attacks, untap target creature control. So yeah, that gets around Exert. So that's pretty cool. Man, look at the artwork on Without Weakness.
Right.
Oh, and it gives Indestructible, so that's still all right. And it cycles.
So I've got 2 cards on the next row that I like.
All right.
So first off, Spellweaver Eternal. 1 in blue, Prowess, Afflict 2. I mean...
Oh, Prowess and Afflict 2. That's kind of cool.
It is so good. And it's Tiny Leader is playable.
So does this go into Shuyan?
Yes, it does.
Huh. Yeah, that's cool.
Sure.
That's cool.
Also, there's a red card on this row for 2 in a red.
Thorn Mullock?
Prowess. Yep. 2 in a red, 2/2. Thorn Mullock has first strike as long as it's attacking.
Huh. Man,
Prowess.
I'm glad that they kept Prowess around.
Yes. I love it.
And let us not forget about Solitary Camel. 3 for a 3/2 that has lifelink as long as you control a desert. Or if there's a desert in your graveyard. Gift of Strength has some awesome artwork.
Yeah, it does.
We have a reprint of Unsummon.
Yeah, that artwork's pretty good too.
Tragic Lesson. There's something to be said about that. 3 mana instant, draw 2 cards, then discard card unless you return a land you control to your owner's hands. If you have stuff that can like capitalize off like landfall, there's some potential goings on there. And that's we're getting down to like
you got a Braid. 1 in a red. Choose one, deal 3 damage to target creature. Or discard target artifact. Yeah,
those modal spells are anytime we have like a modal spell, like you're usually probably gonna pay like 1 more than you would for each of the spells that would the way it would normally work. But
also on that same row, got a card that I was talking about the other day, God Pharaoh's Faithful.
Okay.
White human wizard, whenever you cast a blue, black, or red spell, you gain a life.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's not
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. I get it. There you go.
Yep.
Oh, but what about Bloodwater Entity?
What about it?
One a blue and a red for a 2/2 with prowess and flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may put target instant or sorcery from your graveyard on top of your library.
I don't know what you're talking about, Travis.
That
This
card
is a
seems like
terrible card.
yeah, that card's amazing.
So
Oh,
bad. Of course it's good.
and we have River Hoopo. River Hoopo.
Hoopoo.
It's not good, but it's funny. And so we have all these like double cards. I don't even want to read any of these. I hate these cards.
Oh, come on.
I thought they were going to be really cool. Okay, so for instance, we have Leave to Chance. So for one in a white, we have an instant that says return any number of target permanents you own to your hand. So it's not a, it's not like a blink. It's just a bounce. So it can save your permanents from things. And then Chance is for the aftermath effect. For 3 and a red, you can discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards.
Yeah. Skip over to refuse to cooperate.
Okay.
So 3 and a red, refuse. That's a great just name for a card.
Yeah,
Refuse.
refuse.
Refuse. I refuse you. Refuse deals damage to target spell's controller equal to that spell's CMC.
Okay.
Okay. So and then you got cooperates, 2 and a blue for an instant. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Yeah.
That one's okay. That's actually pretty good, actually. We have Driven to Despair, which at the very least you have 1 and a green for a sorcery till end of turn. Creatures you control gain trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. I love drawing cards, so that kind of works out there. And then the aftermath is Despair for 1 and a black. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain Menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. This card's actually pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Is Reason to Believe any good? Look at the top card of your library.
Blue, just paying blue for a scry 3.
Yeah, that's okay. And so Believe is for 5. When look at the top card of your library, you may put it on the battlefield if it's a creature card. Huh. If you don't put it in your hand.
So you use that scry 3. So yeah.
Okay.
You have 6 mana open. Use that blue, scry 3, set up your top card, and then Believe to get that card.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's actually kind of alright. We have like the ultimate card for the cycling deck, Abandoned Sarcophagus. It's like the Yawgmoth's Will for cycling cards. 3 mana for an artifact. You may cast non-land cards with cycling from your graveyard. If a card with cycling will be put into your graveyard from anywhere, and it wasn't cycled, exile it instead.
Yeah.
So that card's really powerful for that deck. God Pharaoh's Gift is essentially a free Eternalize.
Yeah.
Every turn. But for 7 mana, we run into the problem that we spoke about earlier.
Mm-hmm. Where it just
dies.
Risks.
Yeah. Hollow
Mirage
One.
Mirror. Or Hollow One.
Yeah, Hollow One is... I just wanted to point out because it's, for the cycling deck. Like, I keep saying the cycling deck like it's a deck that people play. When I think, really... I don't know.
Don't say that. You played that deck. You played Astral Slide.
Well, it was terrible, and it was in tiny leaders.
Yeah.
So this guy costs 2 less for each card you've cycled or discarded, and you can cycle him. Mirage Mirror, though, however, is definitely a Commander All-Star that has come out of this set. For 3 mana, you have an artifact, and for 2 mana, you can make it become a copy of target artifact, creature, or enchantment, or land until end turn. Let's say, I'll play this card for 3, tap 2, make it a copy of your Mana Reflection, and go off, right? Because it doesn't have to be yours. It could be your opponent's. So that's awesome.
Make a copy of a Miraris, make a copy of anything.
Yeah. I'm pretty into that. We have a reprint of Traveler's Amulet that looks pretty cool.
Reprint of Menolith.
Yeah, which also looks pretty cool.
Endless Sands looks cool.
What are you saying?
Endless Sands.
Endless Sands. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Endless Sands. So what is it? What is Endless Sands?
So tap and add a colorless. 2 and then tap it. Exile a target creature you control. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4 and tap, exile or sacrifice Endless Sands, return each creature card exiled with Endless Sands to the battlefield under its owner's control.
Really
That's
risky.
a lot.
It's pretty
Yep.
risky.
Like, what if you spend all that mana exiling all your dudes and somebody blows the land up?
Then that's just it. It's kind of like the same issue you run into with Endless Horizons. Endless Horizons, when it comes into play, you search library for any number of planes and exile them. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a land that was removed from the game this way into play.
Yeah.
But if Endless Horizons gets blown up, you're screwed.
You're kind of screwed.
Yeah. Scavenger Grounds is a graveyard hate card that I feel like has place in some commander decks.
I pulled like 3 of them, so I hope so.
I mean, 2-tap second exile all cards from all graveyards.
Yeah.
Like on a land, that's okay. We have a Hostile Desert, which is like a manland for deserts. Like deserts are something that I'm not really paying too much attention to, honestly.
No.
However, you're definitely gonna want a Crypt of the Eternals. Yeah.
Yeah. Enters the battlefield, gain a life, add a colorless, and then tap 1 and fix your mana.
Yeah, you cycle around your mana to get what you need. And I guess Survivor Enchantment will be our last card of the evening. Being a desert, taps for 1 colorless, and then tap an untapped creature, add 1 mana. So it's like a Springleaf Drum, but it's a land.
Yeah.
So there you go. And that was Hour of Devastation in its entirety, except for all these deserts. That I don't want to talk about these. I don't want to talk about these deserts.
No?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
There's
Talk about the full arts look great still.
Yeah,
The
there's
basics are okay.
we have a bunch of these deserts. These ones, this second row of deserts, like Desert of the True, the Mindful, Glorified, Fervent, and Indomitable. Those go in the cycling deck because they have cycling, and we always need more things that can cycle. But the rest of them just aren't that great. Again, agree. The bolus influenced lands here, after everything's just kind of gone to crap. Looking pretty good. And then, did we talk about the invocations for this set yet?
I don't think so. Let's talk about. I pulled one and okay.
It's like removal, right? Well, not necessarily just removal, but
I pulled Slaughter Pact.
Yeah, there's some removal. There's some stuff like Through the Breach. You have the gods. The ones that are the gods look pretty cool.
Yeah, this set of invocations was supposed to appear as just like destruction and death and doom and Armageddon.
Yeah,
just everything's bad.
I'm not really too keen on truly going through these a whole lot because I mean the art on all of them is really cool. You can sift through them. You have a Lord of Extinction, Shatterstorm, Choke. Who uses that other than a sideboard card in Legacy? Avatar of Woe, the card that's been reprinted to hell and back. Capsize, Opposition. I think that's what that one is. Slaughter Pact, No Mercy, Desolation Angel.
Get your Shatterstorm on.
Sunder, Forbid, Diabolic Edict. I'm trying to read these off of the text that's on the cards, and it's hard.
Blood Moon.
Damnation got one, so that's cool, I guess. Through the Breach, Boil, another sideboard card. Doomsday.
Omniscience.
Omniscience is what that is. Threads of Disloyalty, Armageddon, Thoughtseize. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of these in person would look really cool, but from this particular set of them, I'm not too terribly...
You know what?
What?
Scrolling down to the Planeswalker decks, it's no wonder I had no idea Wasp of the Bitter End was a card because it's in the Planeswalker deck.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So, real quick, each of the Planeswalker decks, one comes with Nissa, one comes with Nicol Bolas. We'll go over those cards really quick. And then we get a card from each of them, or a couple cards from each of them that specifically interact with the Planeswalker that comes in the deck. So Wasp of the Bitter End is 1 in a black for 2/1 with flying, and whenever you cast a Bolas Planeswalker spell, you may sacrifice Wasp of the Bitter End. If you do, destroy target creature. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So what's Nicol Bolas the Deceiver do?
So he's 5 and Grixis. And he comes in with 5, and he has a +3. Each opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card. Okay. -3, destroy a creature to our card.
All right, and that's fine.
Yeah. -11, Nicol Bolas. The Deceiver deals 7 damage to each opponent. You draw 7 cards. I mean, it's not quite Nicol Bolas Planeswalker,
Yeah, I mean, you only have to
but
plus him twice to get to his ultimate,
right?
so that's kind of cool. And then we have the Tutor, which specifically gets him the Visage of Bolas.
Mm-hmm.
He gets him from your graveyard. You can search your library and graveyard. So if he's in your graveyard, you can get him back too. And it gives you Grixis mana. That's pretty cool. Nissa Genesis Mage is 7 for a Planeswalker that comes in with 5. +2 on tap up to 2 target creatures and up to 2 target lands. That's kind of cool. It's like the original Garrick that we had that could untap 2 lands, except was it 2 forest or did he just say 2 lands? I can't remember.
It's probably forest.
And then -3 target creature gets +5/+5 till end of turn, which is fine.
Yeah,
But it's not really what I want to see on my Planeswalkers. Original Garrick is 2 target lands.
okay.
And then ultimate, -10, look at the top 10 cards of your library. You may put any number of creatures and lands from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom in any random order. I don't know, I'd almost say that in this case, Nicol Bolas is the better pick from the two. Avid Reclaimer is the support card. It's 3 for a 2/2 human druid that adds a blue or a green. If you control Nissa Planeswalker, you gain 2 life. So there's that synergy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Nissa's Encouragement, which is 5 mana that searches your library and graveyard for a card named Forest, a card named Bramblewood Behemoth, and a card named Nissa Genesis Mage. Reveal those cards and put them into your hand. So there's like a ton of value to be had there. Even I think that's fine for 5 mana.
Yeah.
Like, even though Bramblewood Behemoth isn't necessarily like a bomb card, like it's 6 for 6 with trample.
6 with trample.
Like, you still like just get them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why not, right?
So, if you're playing the Bolas deck, pick up these Bolas cards. If you're playing a Nissa themed deck, I guess you could pick up these cards.
Well, Nissa's got 2 decks now that you can pick up cards from.
Really? What was the other
she
one?
had the one in Aether.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Nissa.
Why not Aether? It was Revolt.
Was it Nature? Yeah, Nature's Artisan. Where is it? There it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So, wow. We've gone on for a minute, but that's been Hour of Devastation. I also forgot to show at the beginning that this Nicol Bolas, this is the SDCC promo for him.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Which you can get if you went to San Diego Comic-Con, and you also
or
got...
if you were patient and just bought it offline.
Yep, that too. So yeah, that's it. That's what Hour of Devastation has to offer. And boy, can I honestly say I'm glad that we're done with this episode, because next week's episode is going to be so much more interesting than this, in my opinion.
And then the episode after that's going to be very interesting because we'll be getting into Ixalan.
Yeah, which is like lots of new stuff going to be coming up from that. Just because like Ixalan, we're dealing with some creature types,
tribes.
Yeah, the land of tribes that we haven't really seen that much of. Dinosaurs, pirates, like
white vampires.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that. I'm glad to be back. It was a good episode to just kind of get back into the swing of things. Any closing remarks?
Travis, go walk the plank.
Walk the plank. There was a discussion about that. About how people were saying that it was going to be like this guy's.
Oh, that is that guy's final piece of art for Magic.
Yeah, so they were like, it's very like heartfelt, or like, there's a lot said in this picture,
Yeah.
And if you look up at this cool ad from Mythic here, you can get a Star Trek Sunburst skirt for $34.99 from ThinkGeek.
Not what mine says, but okay.
Anyway, that's good. I'm feeling good. I'm getting ready to. I'm tired.
Go to bed.
I'm tired. We were usually back in the day. We used to record in the morning.
Oh man!
But now, for you, it's 11:30.
Yep.
But it's 9:30 for me because I live.
And I'm not working nights anymore.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
on days.
Yeah.
So
we
could do stuff.
Either way, I mean, I'm glad that we're able to sort this out one way or another. So.
Yeah.
So. We're glad to be back.
Oh, yeah.
We hope you guys are glad to have us back. And we'll catch you guys next week, hopefully, when we take on Commander 2017. But until then, it's going to be Travis and Brandon, as always, returning to the command zone.
Dragging your balls, Z.
Not that.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to clip that. A rad Brandon fart.